Okay, so as you can see, Leo is in Adho Mukha Virasana. This is part 3 of the International Yoga Day sequencing. So if you're just joining us for today, then come into this pose, but you may already still be in this if you are coming into the full sequence. So just being in your Adho Mukha Virasana, taking a few breaths, getting ready for your practice. Those of you who have been joining us in the previous sequencing, then you know that we've been practicing on the arms to start with. So we're going back to that now. So coming up out of your Adho Mukha Virasana and sitting up. And then coming up, but come up slowly, don't rush to stand up because the head's been down for a little while. So standing up when you're ready. And standing with your feet together, standing a good Tadasana. So those of you who've been practicing the Tadasana in the previous sequencing, then you'll already be scanning your body from the base all the way through to the top of the head. But those of you just starting the practice today, then take the weight right back into the heels and become aware of the distribution of your weight. This is a very key thing. So as we take those heels right back, it ignites our legs. So we need this action so that we can extend through the whole of the body. Extending out of the pelvis, lifting up, chest up, and just be in your Tadasana, taking a few breaths, ready for your practice. Soft inhalation and soft exhalation. Now we're going to come up for Adho Mukha now, so extending the arms all the way up, extending all the way into the fingertips. Now what I want you to do is to take yourself outside of the classic action, so take those arms wider, wider still. Oh, and reach, so you're coming out of the classic action. Now I want you to reach so much into those fingertips. Now when you bring those arms back, you have to see you come from the outer arms. So you go slowly with resistance, bring those arms back, go and extend all the way up into your Adho Mukha and reach into the fingertips. So find the strength within those arms, extending through the body. Don't forget about your Tadasana, sharp down with the thigh bones, lifting with the soft tissue fiber. Now keep all of that lift and extension as you take your arms down beside you. So lifting the sternum, chest. Soft inhale, soft exhale. Okay, so we're going to come for Parvatasana. So what I want you to do in Parvatasana this time is interlock your fingers so that the palms are facing you. Reach the arms out. And this is exactly how you're going to go up into the pose. It's a slightly different approach. So keep those arms really nice and straight and lift the arms up. And once you get to the top, turn the palms up towards the ceiling. Turns. That's it. Get that action. So you start off with the palms facing, you go all the way up and you keep that action and then you turn the wrists strongly. So when you turn the wrists, eventually you want to see if you can do that without bending the elbows. Okay, so we're going to have another go, extending the arms down now and interlocking the fingers, so the other little fingers on the outside. Now go on, reach so much. Push those wrists away from you. Extend the arms above your head now. And now see, this action, the whole of the wrist needs to lengthen even more. So much so you're only using these little connections at the bottom of the wrist to extend up, so slightly different. So you're using these hinges at the bottom of the wrist and the palm to get that rotation. Okay, so you're not involving so much of the action in the arm. So we have to eventually extend those arms so they become straighter. Okay, lifting the chest, extending down with the legs, strong action. Now, releasing the arms down, stand in Tadasana. And just take a few deeper, longer inhalations. Be aware of your stance. Scan your body from the base. Extend all the way through to the center of the body and breathe. Soft inhale, soft exhale. Okay, so we're coming for Prasarita Padottanasana. So this time, we practiced it previously, but we're going to practice it again. This time I want you to take your hands to the floor and see if you can take your head down. Now your head may need to come higher than floor level, so have either a stack of foam pads or a yoga brick handy. So jump those legs wide. Put your hands onto your hips. Roll your shoulders back and down. And now extend forward. Extend halfway only. So still the similar instruction on this pose, that you've got to get the action and the paraspinal muscles to move and open, so the inner thighs move to the outer thighs. And once you're in this halfway stage, you've got to quickly anchor that tailbone down, but as you do so, you've got to lift those legs so much, such a strong action. And now take the hands down to the floor. So go and see that you're keeping these frontal thighs back now very strongly. And then bending your elbows and seeing if you can take your head down towards the floor. Now if it's a bit challenging, then you place the brick underneath the forehead, underneath the head itself, and just release in that action. So if you're able to go into the full pose, take your hands between your thighs. So that's quite advanced and quite challenging. So don't worry if you need to have a brick for your head or several bricks for your head. But see that you are still maintaining this action. This action of, I know you probably can't see me now, but just listening to the instruction, the tailbone needs to be anchored towards the left side. Yes, that needs to happen. Take a few softer, longer inhalations and exhalations. And then walk the hands forward. Now, you may need to pivot your feet in because it's quite a challenge to jump the legs. But if you're able to come up, take your hands to your hips and then lift the torso, do so. And then bring the legs in. And stand in a good Tadasana, just recover for a few moments. Again, ground down into your legs, thighs, everything extending. Soft inhale, soft exhale. Okay, so the next action we're going to come for, or the next pose, is Parshakanasana, but we're coming into the twisted action. So Pavarita Parshakanasana. So jump those legs nice and wide.
Do you want me to do this facing or facing the wall?
Oh yes, that would be nice. So yeah, so if you, so I know that Leah's got her back to you at the moment, but all will be revealed. Okay, so jump those legs nice and wide. Now we're coming into this pose from a Virabhadrasana 2 action, so turn your left foot in, the whole of your right foot and leg out. Now come into your Virabhadrasana 2. And so you can see here, this is Virabhadrasana 2, when you make a square with that front leg and you engage, push back into your back leg. Now this back leg's very strong. Put your hands onto your hips and keep this stance. Now all that turns is the whole of the torso, the whole of the torso. Now what gets a little bit stuck is this back left side. All of this gets a little bit stuck. So you're going to push into your back leg, lift even more on the left side leg and start to revolve, start to revolve. Now if you're able to, hook your outer left arm to the outer thigh and then just be there for a few moments. Still maintaining this length through the center of the spine. Now see if you can take that left hand down to the floor. Keep maintaining this leg pushing down. You can see Leo's heels come up a little bit here. Don't worry about that. It will start to go down, but you've got to keep it anchored. Remember what I said about the tailbone, anchoring the tailbone so strongly. And then start to revolve, start to revolve, start to revolve. If you're able to at this stage, take the arm over the head. Go and see that you get that action. Nice extension. Good. Now just take a couple of breaths, a couple of deeper inhalations, exhalations. Remember, it's not just getting to the pose, but eventually to be able to work in these poses. They have an enormous benefit to your body, making it really nice and flexible, more pliable. Now taking a breath in and coming up So you have to unwind yourself a little bit. Okay, and coming up to turn your position to your left side, to turn your right foot well in, your left foot out. Now you're going to come into this Virasana 2 action. So bending your front leg. Okay. Now Virasana 2 is really important because you've still got the awareness in this back leg, and the whole of that backside waist has got to turn. Now, when you put your hands onto your hips, just be aware of all these back muscles. They need to move from the center to the outer edges, from the center to the outer edges, from the center to the outer edges. All this has got to happen. Keeping that back leg, don't drop that back leg. It's all of this lift that's got to happen, and obviously the femur head's got to go in strongly. Now turn and hook your arm to the outer side of your left thigh, and if you're able to, take that hand down. Now of course I didn't mention, but you can have a brick for your hand in this position, and then roll your shoulder back and down. Soft inhalation, soft exhalation, keeping the action in your back leg. So the back leg throws you a bit forward. You can see here with Leo, it just throws you a little bit forward. So what I'm going to give you here is this instruction. You have to understand that there needs to be a very big grip in this outer hip area. It's got to move in. Now if you can take your arm over the ear, take your arm over the head, go and see that you get that action. Extending, reaching. Now just take a few deeper, longer inhalations and exhalations. Okay, and then slowly coming out. Carefully, keep the abdomen to the spine, keep that nice opening, and then turning the feet and bringing the legs together. So if you found that pose really challenging, it is challenging.
You're not alone.
It is very challenging. We will go into more detail of Pavarita Parsvakonasana in our pose directory. Okay, so we're coming down to floor level now. You'll be very pleased to know. So, we're coming for Purvatasana. So this is quite a challenge. Now we've got 2 bricks here.
That was a quiet yay.
So the understanding of your of the action of Dandasana has got to be here enormously. It's a big action. Bring your toes towards you, extend your heels away from you, roll your shoulders back and down. Okay, now this is when we lift the whole of the body up. So go and see 1, 2, 3. See if you can lift up the whole of the legs, the pelvis, everything lifting. You can see Leo's got a couple of bricks here to elongate the arms a little bit more so she can get this plank position, and then releasing down. So if you found this one difficult, it is quite difficult. Okay, do take some support if you've got it. If you just put your hands onto the bricks, it does make life a little bit easier.
Definitely.
Okay, so now again, we're going to go again. Taking your hands and take a nice breath in and extend up, extend up. Go and see, reaching up. Go and move those femur heads deeply in and lift up even more. Breathe. You can see that the feet are directed towards the floor side. Okay, and coming down. Sit in a good Dandasana, extending into the heels, reaching up through the center of the body. Take a few deeper, longer breaths. So this is when we just come back, settle the breath, keeping the legs strong and straight, grounding them down. Okay, so we're going to come for Adho Mukha Virasana now. So moving the bricks away, coming into that kneeling position. So we started off in this position, so we're ending in this position as well. So big toes together, take the thighs a little bit apart. Extend forward, extend forward, extend forward. Okay. And just rest the head down. So we're not coming into the Parshva now at this moment in time. We're just going to just see that we settle the head, anchor the tailbone, lift the abdomen, and just be aware of your inhalation and your exhalation. Okay, so this is the end of this section of sequencing. So if you're following through, then we'll join you in just a moment. Otherwise, namaste.